Okay, so today we're going to be working on a 2008 Land Rover. We're going to be replacing the tie rods, the outer tie rods. We've already taken off the tire, assuming that is pretty straightforward. So that's the piece we're going to be taking off, just this end piece here. So first thing you're going to want to do is turn your tires out. So I got my assistant that's going to be helping me, and she is going to turn the tires to the right, all the way as far as it'll go. That'll open this up so we can get access to this guy here. And that's what we're going to be replacing, because it's all worn out. So, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to be replacing it with this driver's side outer tie rod. And that's going to replace that part there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to mark where this thread is. So we use some colored electrical tape. And it's going to tell us where currently the adjustment is for the tie rods. So we want to get it back to as close as we can, and then we're still going to take it in and have it aligned, but at least it'll be close. So you're just basically putting a nice piece of colored electrical tape right up against the nut, and that marks it for us. Next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to remove this, the top of the tie rod nut here. And we have a big giant wrench. It's actually a torque wrench, but we're going to use that to go ahead and undo this piece here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So it can be a little bit pretty rusted on there, so we're going to switch to this wrench as the socket wrench isn't quite grabbing the way we want to. So now we're just going to push this really hard. It's going to take a lot of force to break that off. I did put a lot of WD-40 on there to help break that, but it's still going to take a massive amount of pressure to get that thing going. So we're going to work at that and get this undone. We'll go to the next step. So it is going to take some work to do this, and that bolt is not going to want to come off. So you're going to just need to work it. It'll start coming eventually. So we switched over to the vice grip because this thing was really rusted on there pretty good. So we put a lot of WD on there, and we're just about to the end here. But you know, 2008, it's got a lot of build up there. We are just about done getting that piece on there, and whew, a lot of sweat, a lot of work. But feels good to have that success, which we're about to get right here. Just a little bit further. You can see that thing's just about ready to go. We're almost there. Look at that. It's getting easier?
Yeah.
Finally. Seriously wrestling with this for quite a bit of time here. There it is. Now we got it. That's what it looks like. So now, what we gotta do is pop that thing off, and that's what we're gonna use the pickle fork for here. Just a second. So now we're just gonna use this, what they call a pickle fork, and we're gonna position it in here, aligned up with the tie rod itself. That's the alignment we want, and then we're just going to use a little 3-pounder and hammer that into place so it's nice and tight. We're using the pickle fork because we don't really care about the tie rod boot getting all damaged and stuff, so we'll get that in there nice and tight because we're replacing the whole tie rod. And then we're just going to hit it down a couple times. It should pop right out. Give it a good hit. You know, type it. Hit that deck in there a little bit stronger, make sure it's nice and tight. There you go. Now give her a whack a rack. It should pop right out. One more time.
Oh my gosh.
Nice and tight. Alright, now try to just pop that bad boy out. Good hit on it, and it should. Come on. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and just give it a good whack. There it goes. And it should pop down just like that. May take a little bit of work, but you'll get there eventually. Alright, so then we're just using these wrenches and we put them against each other, and we are just undoing this, leaving the one nut in place, and we're just taking the end tie rod right off. And once you get to a point, you can just do it by hand, no problem. But those two might be a little bit hard to get unstuck at first, so you gotta use some leverage, but that'll work. And then we'll just take this one off and we're gonna put the new one on. Now we got a new nut, and we're just putting the new one all the way back up to the tape, which is where we marked it so we know what the adjustment was before we started. And then we're just gonna screw on the new tie rod end. Alright, with that in place, now we're going to attach the new tie rod. You can see we've got this vice grip kind of just holding that tie rod bar in place there so that it doesn't move. And we're gonna take this all the way up to the new nut there, and we're gonna tighten it, and then we're gonna put it in place. Whoop. There you go. Just gonna hold on to that. Get that right close to where we're right up tight against that. We're gonna tighten that right against itself. Make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. Now we're gonna take that vice grip off there. Take the vice grip off, and we're gonna turn that so it can slide right into where it needs to go. Turn it the other way. I'm just gonna keep turning it. There we go. And that should slide right up in the spot.
I think we turned this too much.
Oh, it'll fit. You gotta adjust it and turn the wheel. You're just gonna slide it into place. There we go. Make sure you work it in. Should slide right all the way up so those threads are coming right through. We're just going to jimmy it a little bit, make sure it's...
Is that good enough?
There it is, snaps all the way up there, and we're going to put the bolt on. And this is a locked height bolt, so it's got to go on the right way, which is right. Yep. The plastic is on the top. And we're going to start tightening that down. And then just going to tighten this up and get the Allen wrench on the top there, because sometimes that can start spinning. The whole that spindle there, the threaded spindle, can start spinning, and it's got an Allen wrench on the top of that there, so you can put that on there. If it starts spinning, it'll swing around and catch, and it'll prevent it from swinging. So we're just going to tighten this up real good, and that'll be all you need for putting on your tie rods there. Pretty straightforward. A little bit of elbow grease along the way, and yeah, that's about it. Leave your questions, comments in the comments section. Thanks for joining.